What's up? Hey, what's good? What's poppin'? I am Miss Berry. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you guys for sliding through and coming to kick it with me. As you guys can see from the title, I'm getting back in. I need some chapstick, y'all, besides the point, but I'm getting into Thomas Sowell, back up into Thomas Sowell, should I say, because I've been reacting to him. If you guys have not seen those reaction videos, then after this video, take a stroll on my channel and take a look. But this is, Thomas Sowell, Obama's vision. Oh my God, I need to slow down when I talk, y'all. Let's get it to it. All right, y'all. Where's that play button? Why am I dancing?
Barack Obama in August of last year, quote, "In the first 100 days of my administration, I will travel to a major Islamic forum and deliver an address to redefine our struggle. I will make clear that we will stand with those who are willing to stand up for their future and that we need their efforts to defeat the prophets of hate and violence." Close quote. What do you make of those two?
I think Barack Obama has a lot more faith in verbal interactions than I would. What he's proposing under the guise of change is what has been tried for 2 decades between the two wars, and which failed disastrously in helping to bring on the Second World War.
Barack Obama's plan for defense spending as of last year, I'm quoting his speech, "I'll stop spending $9 billion a month in Iraq. I will cut tens of billions in wasteful spending. I will cut investments in unproven missile defense systems. I will not weaponize space. I will slow our development of future combat systems, and I will institute an independent defense priorities board to avoid unnecessary spending." Close quote.
Well, that's straight out of the 30s. There were people who were saying Britain should not. The British Labour Party in the early to mid 30s voted consistently against defense spending, and they argued that our security does not depend on armaments, but on disarmaments. And so when Chamberlain went to Munich to talk to Hitler, it wasn't just his own party, the conservatives, who applauded him when he came back. It was the Labour and liberals as well. He was probably the most lionized man among Western leaders, perhaps, of the past century.
You mentioned I think you would call it a naive view of world affairs, that he places a great deal of faith in rhetoric, the ability of rhetoric to solve global problems. This reminds you of the 1930s. It reminds you of Neville Chamberlain. I read you a quotation of the notion of spreading the wealth around, and again, you said that's perfectly pure socialist doctrine from the 1930s. Would you argue that this man is the most left-wing, or the purest embrace of the unconstrained vision that we've seen in American politics since when? Since the New Deal?
Since there's been American politics.
Really?
Yes. I mean, even FDR, pulled back on some things. But Obama really, he does have the unconstrained vision, which is really an elitist vision. It says, I know what is the best to be done, and I will do it. When he says, I will change the world, you realize this is a man who has actually accomplished nothing other than advancing his career through rhetoric. And it reminds me of a sophomore.
I hear that a lot. That a lot of people think Obama has not accomplished nothing, but also I'm pretty sure you can look at the facts here as well to determine that. So it's just some things I'm just like, oh, I never paid attention to that till now. But you know what? That do make sense. But as I'm on this journey, so it's making my mind happy.
In college, who thinks that he can run the world because he's never had to run anything. And you can believe that only until you have personal responsibility for consequences. And that's when it gives you a little bit of humility.
Why don't the American people see through that? Isn't that the fundamental bet that the founders made?
I'm sorry, y'all.
That voters would see through, ultimately they'd see through nonsense.
Yes, but that was before nonsense became a large part of the curriculum of our educational institutions.
I was talking about this with a colleague of ours the other day, Tom McCurdy, who's an economist here at the Hoover Institution. And Tom said, well, remember what happened when Bill Clinton became president. His point is the American people are about to get an extreme illustration of the way government intervention messes things up. Bill Clinton offered only a mild illustration, and yet even under Bill Clinton, it was only 2 years before there was enough of a backlash response that Republicans took both houses of Congress away, and the man was boxed in from that point forward. That's a pretty optimistic reading of what might happen. In fact,
Very
it's about
optimistic.
Very optimistic.
Yes, because there is such a thing as a point of no return, and if in those first 2 years Iran gets nuclear weapons, we will be at that point of no return, and the next generation will live under that same threat and as far out as the eye can see. And so, sometimes people who are very clever say it's just as well to let these guys get in there and discredit themselves.
Right.
Then we'll win on the backlash. People said that when Hitler was arising in Germany, and many of those people who said that died in the concentration camps. Which is a smaller tragedy than a nation dying in a sense.
Oh, I was about to say.
Before the primaries had ended, you wrote, Hillary Clinton versus John McCain. I wouldn't know whether to vote Libertarian or move to Australia. Now we know it's Barack Obama versus John McCain. You'll vote for John McCain, but hold your nose? What's your fundamental outlook?
Yes, the difference is the Clintons had the saving grace of utter lack of principle, which meant that when they saw which way the political winds were blowing, that's the way they'd go, regardless of what they'd been saying before. This man has been a far-left ideologue for 20 years, and not just a matter of ideology. I mean, people who are truly vile people. We're not talking about just people who have a certain theory.
Bill Ayers.
I mean, Acorn. I'm talking thuggery as the way to get your ideas across. Father Flagle. You go down the list.
That Jesse.
I judge people by what they've done, not by what they say, particularly when what they say is the direct opposite of what they've done. So that, no, I think this man really does believe that he can change the world. And people like that are infinitely more dangerous than mere crooked politicians.
Final question. Let's suppose that the Wall Street Journal is right. Let's suppose that Barack Obama wins and that the Democrats increase their majorities in both the House and the Senate. Let's suppose all of that. What would be your advice to young people dedicated to free markets, individual liberty, and broadly speaking, to the constrained vision that you write about in A Conflict of Visions? What do you do if something like this happens?
You do whatever you find you can do under those conditions, which you can only learn by experience. But it's a little like saying, what advice do you give to someone on death row when they come to take him down to the gas chamber?
I ain't gonna lie, that definitely scared me at the end. So let's end that video right there. The big like I wasn't expecting that. But did I watch a video, a Thomas Sowell video that came from the same interviewer with the same thing? I feel like I heard that little ending thing before. But that was just pretty interesting to see, his thoughts. Like as I'm learning about, Mr. Thomas, I'm learning that his mind, he knew a lot. He knows a lot. And he was just like pretty much an open book. Anything you asked him, he was quick on his feet to answer because he just knows it, and he's very confident in what he's saying. And it's not even a lot of thinking or anything like that. So I'm noticing that, but it's definitely an eye opener for me because, like I was saying before, just me paying attention to things that I didn't pay attention to before, and I'm like, oh wow, like I just really didn't know. I didn't take the time to deep dive to find out. I was just on the surface here, so hey, we just getting this journey started. I'm excited. What would you guys like to see me react to on this channel? Give me recommendations, drop links, whatever you prefer. Like, I want to know your thoughts on this video as well. Don't forget to also thumbs up this video, like it up, because I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction video just as much as I enjoyed reacting to it. Y'all don't forget to also hit that subscribe button and ring that bell in case you are not subscribed to my channel. So when I do drop a video, you will know, you won't miss it, and you'll be right here. And as always, I appreciate you guys for coming through, coming to kick it with me, and until next time.